Las Vegas is gonna be full of discarded studded belts, hair dye bottles in the streets, Pawn and Z found dead in Las Vegas. Hey guys, you're probably wondering, where the fuck are we? This is my bathroom. It's been a crazy past few weeks. I have been sort of busy doing my new full-time job, which is in the social media world. So I feel like I have been a little bit like burnt out about being in front of the camera, but I really do want to keep this channel going and thriving and growing and all the cute little things. So I thought that I would come on here today and let you join me as I destroy my hair. Basically, red is sort of like what I feel like best encapsulates me. I feel the most comfortable when I'm doing some kind of a red thing with my hair, but I recently lost a bet. My coworker does not think that I will do this. I will do this. Red is very much my comfort zone. So let's see what happens. I also just like wanted to do some kind of a video addressing the whole When We Were Young festival thing that was announced in early January. Big emo ass news. And I was like, gotta talk about it because this has been really taking up a lot of my mental space for the past, since early January. All right, first things first. I have some freaking gloves. Honestly, what I've been doing when I don't have these gloves is I straight up have a pair of kitchen dishwashing gloves that are my designated hair dye instruments, if you will. And I really didn't want to use them in this one because I thought that would be embarrassing, but I'm just letting you know for full transparency, that's what I usually would do. Just treating my head like a dish that you just can't scrub all the stuff off of. I have on my little shirt that I'm kind of okay getting messy. If I get some purple in it, that would be kind of cute, not gonna lie. As I freaking separate out my hair here, the When We Were Young festival, we're all talking about it, we're all a little bit apprehensive, I get it. Does that mean that I did not spend almost $300? Absolutely not. I did immediately. I did not want to risk it being real and me not being there. If it does go on without a hitch and I wasn't there, I'm never gonna recover. And if, you know, I bought the tickets and it doesn't happen correctly, I will never financially recover. So either way, I'm not doing great. So I was like, let's just go for it. With that being said, full transparency, I did buy these tickets. Not my best hour, but when I see Avril on something and it's possible for me to be at that thing, I'm going. I would give my life for that one. Basically, the When We Were Young festival was announced on January 18th, and it's sort of like a Warped Tour-esque lineup of like 60 plus bands. It's happening in Las Vegas in sort of like late October of this upcoming year. As soon as it was announced, everyone obviously lost their entire minds because they were like, this is too good to be true. That was the first alarm bell. The lineup was frankly too perfect. It was like right out of every early 2000s kids iTunes library. Like I feel like I would doodle this lineup in my notebook during history class, you know? That kind of got people thinking. And then people we're just thinking about the logistics. Like there was a viral TikTok where this girl was breaking it down, and apparently there's gonna be 3 stages. There's 60 plus bands. That means that every band would get 30 minutes and change for their set, and that's not including the time that it takes to set up, to tear down, any kind of incidental things that may happen. There are always delays in the music industry. With that being said, it's like every band has maybe a 15-20 minute set, which is not great. For the amount of money that we are being asked to pay. Is it a lot of bands? Yes, but is it like a lot of those bands? No. It's a little bit sketchy. It's a little bit like, is that worth the money? People were questioning that. I mean, it's just so funny to me to think about. Let's say that it's like every band in that scenario would have to have an equal amount of time. I don't think that will happen. I think that the headliners definitely will probably get a longer set time, but just like theoretically, if My Chemical Romance and Lil Huddy have the same set time, that would be bonkers, right? Like, I could understand people being upset. No offense to the Lil Huddy stands. The lineup is a dream. Literally, the headliners are My Chemical Romance, Paramore, Bright Eyes, Avril, obviously. You have The Used, Mayday Parade, All American Rejects, Silverstein, Black Veil Brides. Like some of these bands I haven't thought about in years. It just was really special to see them on a big, I mean, obviously you see them on Warped Tour, but like a festival. I'm like, I hope they're being paid so well by Live Nation right now. I hope Andy Six is just like, I know he's sitting pretty in his mansion somewhere. Live Nation, that's the other thing. People are very tentative about any kind of Live Nation situation right now because of their involvement in the Astroworld tragedy, namely that they like threw the whole thing and fucked it up monumentally to a fatal extent. People are basically saying that this is like a last-ditch thing for Live Nation to kind of exploit the pop punk community to get them to pay their bills for the astronomical like lawyer fees that they're gonna have to pay after Astroworld, which makes a lot of sense. And I say that that is probably correct. But at the same time, it's not like Live Nation has just like put on this crazy thing that they would never usually do, so it's an obvious ploy. Like this is what Live Nation does. Like they throw big events. And it's like, I would actually love to just like boycott them and only go to like DIY shows or shows put on by smaller promoters or companies. But just realistically, that's not gonna happen. Like if I ever wanted to see a band that was like, you know, in a slightly bigger scale. If you wanna go to a big fun event and it's a large scale event, Live Nation is probably behind it. It is very justified to not wanna give Live Nation your money right now or ever. And also like, fuck Live Nation. Like honestly, fuck them. Kind of off topic, I think that people kind of stopped talking about Astroworld surprisingly fast, which I think is what Travis Scott and his team and Live Nation were hoping would be the case because the news cycle on social media is so fast and so saturated. But let's keep talking about it. What's happening with the victims' families? Are they getting justice in any kind of way? I have not heard about it. That's just a little side note. I'm still thinking about it and I'm still really disturbed and upset. Anyway, okay, how is this looking? So I really can't tell. Full disclosure, I mean, obviously I'm doing this, I waited for this red to fade, but like, this could totally fully come out a weird muddy color and I've accepted that. So another thing that was kind of sketchy about it was just the fact that once it was announced on social media, some of the bands acted like they had never heard about it until it was announced. So that's a big problem. And also, I mean, people would ask questions about logistics or like anything about the event and bands would straight up respond like, I don't know. We weren't told anything about this. It seems like the bands that did know have no information about how it's actually gonna work. And then there are bands that straight up didn't know.
The girls that get it. And the girls that don't.
Maybe their management just kind of worked it out and it, you know, slipped through the cracks, but like what? I feel like you would know if you were doing this kind of festival. That's a little concerning. So originally the festival was announced as a one-day festival, which seemed insane, and it still kind of does. And people were like, okay, how is that gonna work with the timing and everything? How is that logistically gonna not be a nightmare and a disaster? Live Nation basically didn't really say anything other than just like 100% this is real, it is gonna happen, and we're like committed to everyone's safety in Las Vegas, which is like, that's cool. Thanks Live Nation, I have so much faith in you right now. Buddy. Basically, it was originally one day, and then they super last minute, on the day that the tickets went on sale. From personal experience, I was on the website to, you know, go buy tickets, and the tickets for the day were sold out already. But another option just appeared. Like they hadn't even announced it yet that there was gonna be another day, and it just appeared, and I was like, oh, Sunday? Okay, I guess I'll do it. Like I was in a frenzy because I was like, I really want this. So they announced it like during the pre-sale because they realized how huge the demand was. And also their response was so funny because on social media they were like, we're so humbled, we had no idea that like we would have this kind of response. And it's like, bitch, you booked Paramore and My Chemical Romance. What did you expect? So then they announced a second day, and then that sold out, and then they announced a third day, and people were like, wow, like that's kind of smart. Live Nation kind of understands that you need, you know, more than one day for a festival of this magnitude and with this many bands and like, you know, 3 stages. Spreading it out makes a lot of sense, right? And then they were like, no, actually every single day is gonna be the same exact lineup. So gotcha. It's 3 days of the same thing. So it did not make any logistical difference. It's just happening 3 times. So it's interesting. Las Vegas is gonna be full of, you know, discarded studded belts, hair dye bottles in the streets, skull animals, merch just destroyed, Pond and Z found dead in Las Vegas. And yeah, the other sticking point for people was obviously the price tag, because holy shit, these are not Warped Tour prices. And I feel like a grandma being like, back in my day, you could just go to a parking lot and see all of your favorite bands for like $40 or like $25. Or you could just bring a bunch of cans to donate and then it was free. Now, my ass just spent $245 plus service fees, which by the way were $70, which is just insulting. They really just like had me by the throat. Like, I'm sorry, I can't, it's so funny that I'm saying all of this and being so skeptical, fully holding a ticket for this, fully putting my life on the line, my expenses. It really all comes down to like if it's worth it for you. I think that a lot of people are making the choice that it's not worth it for them because of the price tag, because of the travel, because of, you know, fear that it could be like Fyre Fest and not wanting to take that chance, which I 100% respect, and I think that that's very smart.
And some of us just aren't that smart.
I think that it'll all be worth it for me if I get to see Avril Lavigne, you know, sing one lyric, sing a single word. If I see her open her mouth near a microphone, it'll be worth it for me. And that's me, and that's like my priorities. And so it's really up to you. And I also think that we're all in a kind of vulnerable place right now, coming off of, I mean, still being in, you know, year 2, year 3 of the pandemic. How long has it been? And I think that that makes it seem a little bit more worth it to some people. Life has been a little bit garbage for a long time. In conclusion, I just wanted to talk about it because it's very interesting to me. I am fascinated by the story of the huge event gone catastrophically wrong. I was like, I ate up TanaCon, I ate up Fyre Fest. I was very fascinated by Astroworld too, and just being like, how did that go wrong? Like, what were the series of events that led to this? And I think that we all were taught how fucking destructive and fatal and horrifying the consequences can be if you fuck something up like this. Like, it's not just like, oh, we lost a bunch of money and, you know, in the case of Fyre Fest, we're all like rich and we lost money and we had to like be in the Bahamas for like a night. You can lose your whole life. I think that's really sinking in for people. It's Live Nation's responsibility to create a situation that is feasible and that is safe. But also, once it gets to the point of the festival is happening and you're at the festival, the bands have to look out for this stuff and really be able to see the signs of a disturbance in the crowd or of people being crushed by the crowd. There have been so many videos coming out of bands over the years stopping the show because they know what's going on and they're in tune with their audience. And that is not too much to ask. That's not too much to expect from a performer. I kind of trust that these bands will be more aware because I feel like many of the videos that have come out of bands, you know, have been in, you know, the alternative sphere a little bit. So I think that it's something that our scene is very good at. I don't know, will you see me, you know, shaking my ass to Lil Huddy? Who knows? I have like a weird soft spot for Lil Huddy for no reason. For no reason. I'm like laughing a lot about the fact that he's gonna be there. But I'm also like curious. I'm like, can he hold his own? We'll see. Because now that I'm a person that works on social media, it's like performing on TikTok is so wildly different from performing in front of a crowd of people. Sometimes those skills do not translate easily. We'll see. I'm rooting for the kid. I truly am.
Also,
I think that something that was a selling point for people was that I made a whole video about emo fan fiction, and so many bands that have been running in the same circles for a long time and have been, you know, written about in different pairings and stuff in fan fictions are gonna be there. So everyone's like, oh my god, what sick ass crossovers are gonna happen? I mean, I don't believe that the Used and My Chemical Romance are gonna get over their like storied feud or whatever, but it'd be sick if they brought Bert on stage to do the vocals for, you know, if they do it to guys like us in prison. These are just little hopes and fantasies and dreams of mine. There's so many bands in the scene that are gonna be in the same place at the same time, and it's a very exciting thing to think about. A lot of possibilities there. Some cool little moments. All right. I feel like I put so much hair dye in. What is this? You can still see the red. What is this? It's literally called tintation. It's supposed to be tinted. But also like bluish dyes have always like immediately left my hair. Like they've never stayed for me. Usually it has to be a little bit reddish, so maybe it's that. Interesting. I'm gonna put like one more glob on each side and we're gonna see how that goes. Either way, it's gonna be a fun, fresh new look. So, all right, I feel pretty satisfied with this. Got our two little, they look pretty saturated. I'm gonna let this settle for a little bit. I will wash it out. I will maybe like dry it a little. I will come back with the big reveal. All right, are you ready to see the results?
surprise, bitch.
In the light, it is purple. You can kind of see it You can kind of see it. It's very dark, but we did get to a purple-ish shade. Does it look like the two beautiful e-girl streaks that I had before? Not as much, because it kind of just blends into the rest of my hair. But okay, what happened was, to be totally honest, as you could kind of see, that original purple dye did basically nothing. And I was like, wow, it looks the same. This is not gonna be a fun cinematic ending at all. And so I found some sort of like color shampoo stuff that my roommate uses that's kind of like a teal. Is this teal? I don't know why it's so dark. Maybe I just need to wash it out a little bit more. I think hopefully, because it's like I do have two bleached strands in the front of my head. So if I wash it more and it starts to come out, I think it'll start to like have some contrast against the rest of my hair. Like I'm so used to having like some kind of bright thing where it's like, bam, she has mental illness. I'm just like looking at myself in the viewfinder like, who is this? This is a little bit more understated. I kind of feel like a Wednesday Addams vibe from this. Yeah, I'm trying to get it to be in the light because you can see it kind of reflecting off, but I feel like it's definitely more of a subtle effect. Thank you for joining me. I kind of want to do more videos like this. I promise that next time they'll be like a little bit more exciting. Maybe we'll do some dramatic things. If you tell me that you want me to do something super crazy and weird, I will probably do it. Like, I don't care. Because obviously a big part of my videos in the past has been dressing up to fit the theme of certain bands or albums or whatever. So I do love doing that. If you want me to go a little bit more just girly things, I would love it. I just don't really know what people want to see. So let me know how you felt about this. Let me know about your feelings about When We Were Young Fest. Right now we're like a long way out, so hopefully in the time between now and October we will know a lot more about the festival. Hopefully feel a little bit more confident about Live Nation's ability to pull it off. If anyone watching is also going, hopefully we won't regret this decision. Super great to see you in my bathroom. I have been Nina. I will see you in the next one. Mwah. Bye.